we're going to work through 4-hour time periods, and we're going to see if we can make some money. And we're going to do that using a bias tool top of each hour. Let's roll the intro and get into this. And a warm welcome to one and all. Before we start this, I need a slurp. Why? Well, because we all know Scruffy likes his coffee, but also because my throat's as dry as a bone. Now, I'm going to flick this over, and we're going to get right into this. So, first of all, I keep the guys running all the time. You know, if they ask, this is what I do, and it's the same as everything else. I'm not a mind reader, but if I'm asked to help, I will. So what I start with is down in chart strength. This was at 10 to 7 this morning. You get an upshot of the strength. And because I'm looking at the DAX this morning, I want to see what the Euro's been up to. Now, I'll put the big version of this up in just a second. Now, from here, in the day trade, you can kind of follow it through. Now, I've done the markup here. Not only have I done the markup, which you see me sort of working my way through the chart, at the end of it, oh, well, you get the big version there. At the end of it, I'll go into the direction, etc., etc. And as you can see, I'm on working that out as we speak. So that's all done for them. So they can essentially follow what I'm up to. It's not a signal service, it's a hand-holding service. And the reason I do it, it's because I'd rather tell them what I'm doing before I do it. And then that way no one can ever question what I do. Although they do, which is, I find quite odd. Anyway, so what are we looking at here? Well, I'm looking at the DAX for the 8 o'clock hour. I'm not a big fan of trading the open, but what you've got to remember is the DAX opens at 7 o'clock. We're now going into London open. It will flare up, but I've got a reasonable idea of what's going on. Now, from here, if I pull in this big version of this, I use a bias tool, which is here. Now, this drives this bit. It actually, you put in some numbers, done it all for the guys. There is a version of it available to them and they know how to score it out. This is telling me it's essentially a scalp. So I need to be relatively careful in what I'm doing because it's a C trade, which is risky. Keep my TP low. So I want to be less than 12 pips and we're going to be selling it. Now the euro is middle of the ground, but it has been losing ground. Okay. So I need to keep that in mind. Now what we've also see is we've got this nice pop here coming down and then it's working between this zone here. Now the surge has just come in. It'll often move the wrong way before it moves the right way. So as we can see, there's the hourly move up and it's getting ready to sort of move for the rest of the day. Now, what is that rest of the day? Well, the next thing is, and this is a little bit for little smiler, a little salute to you. You're talking about fibs and extensions inside the Discord. I have picked it up. If you bear with me, I'll pull it back. And I'll kind of do a quick snapshot here, but I'm going to do a proper one. There you are. Can we talk about expansion levels, how to use them, blah, 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 blah. Okay, kid. I'm going to do that with the squad. What I'll probably do is I'll do it tonight in the Zoom call because it's quite a lot to take in. But in the meantime, we'll do a quick one here. If I'm looking for an expansion, I want an overextended candle. Now, that is there. Okay, that's overextended move. Take an extension, top, back to bottom where it started. Where's it going to turn? Well, what a shocker. Stalled bang on the 127. Now, the 127 is a key turning point. The next one is up there. It's got up to these levels and failed to get there, so it'll come back into this. Now this is the premise of the trade we're about to trade. So if I drop this down into 15 minutes, we can see that's up there. It's pushing against this, pulling down. Excellent. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this down into 5 minutes and I'm going to candle count back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The base of here is where I want to be, and I'm going to follow the green candles up. So I'm going to drop an order in underneath the cluster, which is about here. I know I only want 12 points or 12 pips. I've got enough room to get in. And what I'm looking at with these 5, that's really the bottom, but I'm expecting it to slam. So I was looking for where there was a cluster in the 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they clustered here. So that's a reasonable place to put in. This is kind of a move that goes against the grain, which it is doing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow it up, get a better price, and then come back down for the said target. And that's it. That's what I'm doing for this hour. And then I'll do it again at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 and 12. And hopefully we'll get some pips out of each hour. If there's nothing there, then I'll just do something else. I'll have a cup of coffee or whatever. But let's play this one out. And I'll be stopping and starting all the time. What I'm going to do at the moment is I'm just going to pause this just simply because we're not triggered. But as soon as it's triggered, I'll come back and then leave the camera running. Or, well, I'll tell you what, we'll let it run and I'll just speed it up. Give us a sec. Okay, going to manage this one out. Pull the stop in to here. I'm actually going to close it out. Just close it off. Boom, get rid of that, get rid of that. That's this hour done. What have we done? We've done 106 quid for the hour. Come back at 9 o'clock. See you in a bit. Okay, boys and girls, we back. The little wonkers here. A little wonker. Okay, boys and girls, we back. I'll not tell you what's just been said because it was rude.
It wasn't very nice. It
was nice. In fact, I enjoyed it. But there we go. There we go. Right, what we're going to do is it's coming up to 5 to 9. Going to pull up my tool just so that you can keep track of what's going on as well as I. Let me just switch that on. The current state is this. I'm now going to have a quick look through. So I need to step back to the hour chart to have a look to see what's been going on. Now what we can see on this is, bear with me while I set this up. Turn that down. Has there been much change in the last hour? Well, we are still kind of pushing down, and the indicators that I use are also pushing down, but one of them has become neutral. So that's a bit odd, but we can see it's pushing against this and then coming back down on itself. Now you follow this down into the 15-minute to see, and you can still see a fair bit of movement to the downside, although it is kind of slowing down. The reason why it's slowing down is because it's coming into this level. Now from here, let me just quickly put these scores in, and I do it across 3 time frames just so that I can get a track of what's going on. Now this one's slightly different. It is still showing signs down. Okay, let me just fill this in and then I can show you what it is. So we're a neutral question mark sell, we're still scalping, we're still on a C, and it's selling. Yeah, so there hasn't been a great deal of change. So if I pull that into place, so I'll be looking for 12 pips on the 9 o'clock hour. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll pause the camera and I'll come back at 9 o'clock when this is ready. Okay. Okay guys, we're coming into 9 o'clock now, so a new candle will be getting formed in just a second. So the price is up here. What I need to do is start figuring out what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Okay, so first things first, I know I'm on for 12 pips, just as a quick reminder, there you go. 12 pips, average target, low TP. So I need a point of no return or an area where I can get in at 12 pips. So, right, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little line in, dot to dot, across there. I need to be in before that. Okay, so I know we're in for a scalp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That line is probably my last point of entry, and then I'm going to follow the trade upwards. Okay, and I'll do the same as I did last time. I'll stage it, and we're going to set it for a limit of 12. And is it ready to go? Let's have a quick look. Let's have a quick look. Don't really want to preempt this. I'm saying that, still pushing down heavily. Hasn't quite smashed into this, so this could stage all the way up there and come down. And I want to sell it when it's most green. Okay. So we're going to put the order there. It's out of the way, so it doesn't really bother me too much at this moment in time. But let's have a quick look at this. What we can see, push up, collapse, push up, collapse. Indecision here, and it's now pushing up. But there's a reasonable argument to say it's going to stay inside of this. So as long as that does, and then I'll stage up to this point. If I get through there, I've got some real problems and I need to do some work. But up until that point, I'm not really fussed. I'm going to just put that underneath that opening point. There's our 12 pips. So we're looking for like 60 quid net is a target. Now you've already seen us do that. So we're just going to build it up and keep on going. And we're going to do this for a few hours. Why? Well, I was asked to. So why not? Right. It's in. I'll pause the camera, but as soon as it's triggered, saying that, I can still speed it up, can't I? No, what I'll do is I'll leave the camera running. I was going to pause it, but I actually think it's better if I don't, because then you can't see any manipulation or anything. What you see is what you get. You can always slow it down if you need to, but you'll see it go in, and then you'll see the additional orders go in as well if I need to put them in. But when we're talking about that, just for a second or two, just because you can put a big position on doesn't make you say you should. And there's the big argument about leverage all the time. Anybody talks to you about leverage, the fucking morons, absolute morons. And I'll tell you what, I know I get on my high horse about this. What you got to remember is all leverage does is give you buying power to open up an asset. So if you've only got a small account, you know, you've got say 500 quid in an account and you're on 500 to 1 leverage. I even had a broker contact me the other day wanting me to sort of promote them somewhat. And there were 2,000 to 1. Now, that means you can put a colossal size on. Colossal. But think about it. If you put 30 quid a point on sort of a small account, how long do you think that account's going to last? Not very long at all. So leverage is very dangerous. So build your positions up slowly and use it effectively. I'll do a video on it. Excuse me. I'll do a video on it if you want, about my thoughts on it. But everything I do is based on return on investment, planning, and having an understanding of what I'm doing in myself. In other words, I control myself as much as the chart. And that's why I'm consistent and successful. And this industry is so decisive. It's unbelievable. And the people who shout the loudest are the ones who haven't got a feckin' clue what they're doing. So, fuck them. Right, let's run this out. It's away. Okay guys, killed the trade because it was net positive and showed signs of retracing. I got out of it a little bit late, so lost a little bit of money. It's not a big problem, but we're going to be resetting again in 15 minutes. So that's our net total up to now. So I could have had that out, and we made about 85 quid. Whereas really we could have made about 200 if I caught it here. But not really worried about that. Beauty of trading is get in, get out, get paid. So I'm going to go grab a coffee, look at it again at 10 o'clock. And I think that'll probably do me for the day once I've done the 10 o'clock trade. Because I'll get over the £200 barrier. So that's like 7 o'clock, wasn't anything. 8 o'clock in we go. 9 o'clock in we go. Going to do it again at 10. So that's like 4 hours and see what we get. All right, I'll catch you at 10 o'clock. Okay guys, we back. It's coming on 5 to 10. I've just done another quick analysis. It's actually a change of sentiment. So I was right to get out of the trade earlier. You can see it's now pushing up. Take it to 15 minutes. You can see the tails coming in, up over. Take it down into 5 minutes, and that's showing you the same principle here. Now, what does that mean? Well, as it comes across, it means my higher time frames have started to alter somewhat. We're still on neutral is the big picture. There's still no definitive dominant direction. But at the moment, it's telling me you should be buying it, but it's neutral on the anchor. Now, when it's neutral on the anchor, you want to be really, really careful. So I'm going to downgrade what I'm looking for in trades. Now, it's saying here I should be looking for 12 pips as a low TP. Well, that may well be so. If I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's around here. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a quick order in on this, and we're going to be buying now. But this time, right, we're in. We're going to be not going mental with the target. We only going to be going for about 10 pips. Now this time I'm going to stage it the opposite direction. And then that way I can get in. And what I'm aiming for is to have this over 200 quid. So I've only got to do a tenner. And then we good to go. But this is it. So that's it. We're in. If the guys are watching this in the squad, they'll know to the golden eye. Put my teeth back in. Golden eye situation. And I'm just going to push it to the top of the golden eye. And then we're done. Now, if it breaks to the downside, fine. I'm quite happy with that. I've still got all of the eggs in my favour, if you like, because the direction of the now, what's going on in front of us, is to the upper side. I don't have to go far, so we'll get in, get out, get paid, make 200 quid, and then I'm having the rest of the day off. Is that all right?
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a plan. All right, okay. Okay, now. She's on one. She's shopping, buying things again. Bloody hell. Right, speed this up, and I'll come back to you at the end. Okay, boys and girls, this is just crashed out. Fantastic. So that would have been a whopping good trade. Did exactly what I wanted. Staged in, pushed up into the target, or correctly targeted the area because it seems to be stalling a little bit. If that runs up there, so what? So let's just check my tickets. I always make certain that I've got no tickets running. Well, there's 525 quid for a few hours work, and that's me done. In fact, it's nearly my week's wages in one morning. So what's the moral of the story here? Don't be greedy. It is the main one, because I get it all the time and I do get frustrated. And what you've got to remember is, when I'm talking, I script nothing. It's just what's in my head comes out my mouth, which sometimes isn't the best thing in the world, because I don't answer to anybody. So therefore, I don't care what I say. I genuinely don't. And what I mean by that is, if you want to hear something, and I'm not going to preach a narrative just to make you happy. I'm going to tell you the way it is. And the way trading is very simple. Most of you shouldn't be doing it. This is a professional job, a professional career. And if you think for a merry second it's get rich quick, or you know what you're doing with the charts, well, unless you're profitable, unless you're making a living from it, you don't know what you're doing in the charts. You're just dreaming. I see all of the buzzwords. Oh, this is brilliant. This is a liquidity sweep. This is equilibrium. It's all horseshit, because you don't know what it is. A liquidity sweep is nothing more than a high or low and a testing point. That's it. Equilibrium, bullshit. It's a midpoint. Don't even know what equilibrium means, most of you. All these different things, all these buzzwords that you love to talk about to be the big shot. Well, like I say, unless you're making a wage from it, you're not a big shot. You're learning. So therefore, be excited. Love the job, but learn the job. And trading has probably the worst community on the planet, because it attracts the wrong type of people. Gamblers and wannabe and scammers. And you put all of them into the mix, and the good people that are genuinely there to help you just get fed up, and they walk away, and they do it by themselves, and that's just the way it is. So step back, learn your craft. What I've done here today is, I knew what I was doing. I started at 6:30 this morning, read the news, did the news announcement for the guys, did my strength, so I had an understanding of what the market was up to, marked the chart out, and then did it in bite-sized chunks, hour to hour. So I looked at the top of the hour, what's it going to do for the next 60 minutes? Right, that's all I'm looking for. Get in, get paid, take a break, come back to the top of the next hour, bang, 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 take a break, and so forth and so forth. And then once you've hit your tipping point, now for me it's 200 quid. I'm now above that 200 quid in this hour. and I'm actually at 525, whereas the hour before was only at 190. So I don't need to trade no more. Common sense. Anyway, I'm very easy found. So if you're stuck, drop in the description. You'll see links to brokers that I use. You'll get various offers to help you within it. And if you want to try a prop, get 5% off the 5%ers. It's the only prop company that I recommend. And if you want to try an investment style, look at Darwin X. And again, they're probably the only type of that I'd recommend as well. And my broker of choice for MT5 is Black Bull. And if you do that, you'll be able to follow the small account journey that we're building with the guys. So as always, trade well, keep your risk managed, but above all, do what you love and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.